Hello dear CMA aspirants from South India. As you all already know, Akash Agarwal Classes has launched for you all 100% English lectures in English for CMA Foundation students giving their examination in December 2025 and onwards. So here I am going to tell you how do you enroll in the batch. You just have to join our WhatsApp community which is given in the link. Fill up the Google form again given in the link and do download our mobile application Akash Agarwal Classes to access the notes. You all know the lectures which we are going to conduct will be 100% covered. There would be no subject which we are not taking care of. So we are going to take care of each and every subject, each and every concept. We are going to take MCQs for you. We are going to provide test papers. We are going to take live mentee sessions as well. Lectures which we are going to take for you all are 100% recorded lectures and not dubbed lectures. And you all know we have exclusive team ready for you all to teach you for your CMA Foundation December 2025 attempt for subject wise as well. And we are uploading the lectures on a weekly basis. All the important links which will be useful to you all are uploaded in the description box. Since we have many students who have cleared CMA examination at all the levels from Akash Agarwal Classes, and to reciprocate the love which we have received from South Indian students, we are here for you all taking lectures 100% in English, so that we can clear your CMA Foundation December 25 attempt together. So keep studying, do watch all the lectures till the end, and do show some love by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and putting up a word in the comment box. Keep studying. Bye-bye. Hello dear CMA aspirants.
Hello everyone. Very good morning guys. Good morning people. Good morning everyone. My dear darling South Indian CMA aspirants, I am CS Kajalande and we are back with yet another session of law. Okay, so we will be talking about sources of law. So, but before that, thank you so much guys for the lovely response that you all have given on SOGA, on NEGO, the previous two lectures of sources of law. Thank you. So yes, I'm so glad that you guys have been understanding things, you all are liking things, because ultimately this is what the aim is, the conceptual clarity that should be done. Once that is done, we know we are going to clear our exams in December 2025 itself, right guys? Yes, everyone. So without wasting any much time, let's start. So now we will be talking about So yes, now we will be talking about the last part. This is the last session for sources of law, okay? And here we will be talking about this unit of 1.3 and we will finish this unit. So now see how things, the way things are written here. So I am every time going to make it easy for you by writing it in a chart form or writing it in short. So whenever I'm writing things here, even you do write it, please. So when you see the lecture once again, when you see it for the second time, you can refer to those notes, and before your exams, it's going to be like this for y'all. It's going to be like a cakewalk. I told her already. Y'all will not have to self-study. Y'all will not have to do any sort of self-study if you guys watch this lecture even twice. And you attend the MCQ sessions, you'll understand how you guys get to know things. Okay, so chalo, let's start without wasting any much time. Hierarchy of courts in India. Now, what do you mean by hierarchy of courts in India? As we know, as we studied in our previous section of sources of law, we know that in the Indian Constitution, Supreme Court was also set up on the day of Republic Day, correct? So now we are going to be talking about the hierarchy of courts. So what do you mean exactly by hierarchy? The levels, okay? The levels of courts that we will be talking about. Now, as we all know that the highest court is the Supreme Court, okay? And Supreme Court, I had given you all homework that on the previous lecture, I want in the comment section who's the current Chief Justice. Okay, so No, I thought so that this red color will come up. I hate that. I hate red color on the screen. Okay. So now we will be talking about Supreme Court. Okay. Now, Supreme Court. This is the apex court, people. Are you getting it, everyone? Apex as in the main court. We just have one in India, and of course it's in Delhi. Okay, now this will comprise of Chief Justice of India plus the other judges. Okay, so right now we've already seen this. How many do we have at present? 34. One is Chief Justice plus 33 other judges, and I've told you I want the name of the CGI. Correct, guys? So this is the Supreme Court. It's just one in India, and whatever the Supreme Court says, guys, it's binding on everybody else. It's binding on all other judges. It's binding on all the authorities. It's binding on the government. Everything, everything. Okay, Supreme Court is the apex court. It's the highest body in judiciary. Okay, now as you can see in your module, what all jurisdictions have it been given. Now, what do you mean by jurisdiction? Jurisdiction means the scope of cases that this court can address. Okay, so once again, jurisdiction means the scope of cases that this particular court can address. So now the first is original jurisdiction. Okay, now what do you mean by original jurisdiction? Original jurisdiction is, where does this go? Okay, I'll just write it. Supreme Court, it's the apex court. Okay, now number one is the original jurisdiction. Got it? Next I'll tell you later on, but first let's just cover original jurisdiction. Now what do you mean by original jurisdiction? Original jurisdiction, guys, you need to know the article number. Article number is 131. Okay, so as per article 131, what does article 131 says? Article 131 says there is original jurisdiction of Supreme Court. Means, for example, directly you can approach the Supreme Court in certain cases if, number one, you are the government of India. Okay, if there is a case between government of India versus any state. Number two, one state versus another state. Okay, because if there's one state versus another state, obviously the district court or the high court cannot take its decision. Okay, and third one is maybe government of India on one side, government of India on one side versus one or more states. Okay, so in such scenarios, Supreme Court will have original jurisdiction. Means, what do you mean by this? Supreme Court will decide these cases if you are government of India and you want to go against a particular state, or if you are state of Kerala and you want to go against the state of Assam, okay, or else you are state of Maharashtra and you want to go against the state of Uttar Pradesh. So in such a scenario, or else government of India on one side and 2-3 states on the other side, if there is a case going on between them, who has the authority to decide this? It's the Supreme Court. Okay, now next, guys, is the writ jurisdiction. Now what do you mean by writ jurisdiction? Everybody, I'm sure under constitution we have done n number of FRs. Now what are FRs? Fundamental rights. So we have done all these fundamental rights, correct, guys? And as per these fundamental rights, if you talk about Article 32, which is the heart of the Constitution, what does Article 32 say? Everyone. Okay, so see, for example, if you want to do a case against me, I know you all will never do that. You all will never do that. I know that. But I'm just giving you an instance. If you want to do a case against me, in such a situation, when you feel like okay, Kajal ma'am has done something wrong, so now I want to go to a court against her. So now you tell me, would you go to a high court directly, Supreme Court, or you'll have to first go to a district court, the subordinate court? Correct? So you'll first go to a subordinate court. If you're not happy with the decision of subordinate court, you'll go to the high court. If you're not happy with the decision of high court, you'll go to the Supreme Court. Correct, guys? This is how you'll climb up. Now, only in one case, only and only in one case, I'm again repeating, only in one case you can directly go to the Supreme Court. What? Yes. If you want to do a case against me, you can directly go to the Supreme Court. Only in one case, only in one case, only in one case, which is that breach of fundamental rights. Simple. So, that is writ jurisdiction. When I have taken away your fundamental rights, now there's so many, n number of fundamental rights, right? Personal life, liberty, freedom of speech and expression, etc., etc. So there are so many of these fundamental rights, and if when I talk about these fundamental rights, and if I breach any of your fundamental rights, I take away your freedom of speech and expression or any of the fundamental right, you can directly sue me in Supreme Court. That is called as writ jurisdiction. Got it, everybody? What is writ jurisdiction? As I said, it's provided by Article 32. If you violate the fundamental rights, now this is Article 32. If you, only in one case, only and only in one case, you can directly approach as a normal citizen, as an Indian citizen, only in one case you can directly approach the Supreme Court. That is breach of fundamental rights, violation of FR. Which article says that? Article 32. Clear, everyone? Yes, guys? Anybody, any doubts? All okay? Next is appellate jurisdiction. Appellate jurisdiction, we all know. If this is appellate jurisdiction, okay, this is obvious, guys. If we are not happy with the decision of a subordinate court, where do we go? High Court. Correct? 1 second. Okay, so if we are not happy with the decision of subordinate court, where to go? High Court. If we are not happy with the decision of High Court, where to make the appeal? Supreme Court. If we are not happy with the decision of Supreme Court, where to make the appeal? President. If we are not happy with the decision of the President, where to make appeal? Go home. Right? You can't make any appeal then. We always crack this joke, and now I know it's become an old one. But anyways, so yes, from subordinate, you go to High Court. From High Court, you approach to the Supreme Court if you're not okay with the decision. That is appellate jurisdiction. Okay, in one case is appeal against High Court decisions. Okay, now next is, guys, advisory. Now this is important. Now what do you mean by advisory jurisdiction? Advisory jurisdiction means the Supreme Court, whatever they feel, they, because see, it's the highest judiciary authority. It's the highest body, guys. Come on. There is nobody above them. Okay. So like judicial, in a judicial way. So if the Supreme Court wants, they can anytime tell the president, or they can anytime give an opinion, give a view to the president that, you know what, this should be done as per this is my opinion. Okay, so the Supreme Court can advise the president that, I think this should be done as per this, because this is a public matter, so this is how it should be worked out. They can say it. Okay, giving an advice. It's up to the president if he wants to listen or no, but advice, so we can give. What's the harm in it? Okay, so here we will write advice to president. Advice to president, okay, regarding matters of public importance. And now next is punishment for contempt of court. Now if anybody disrespects the court if anybody disrespects the court, the Supreme Court and the High Court, they can decide that we have the power to decide if anybody is disrespecting the court, if anybody says anything against the judges, if a person remarks or defamation remarks, if anybody talks against the decisions of Supreme Court, High Court in a very derogatory way, then it's considered as contempt of court. Contempt means disrespect. Okay, you guys must have seen in the movie, people out there are yelling, like, you know, if somebody starts yelling, somebody starts doing something strange in the court, the judge says, order, order, if you don't sit down now, I will consider this as contempt of court. Contempt is disrespect. They can directly give a punishment for that. It's jail, direct jail. And last is review jurisdiction. Now, what do you mean by review? Review is everybody, what is review jurisdiction? Review jurisdiction is just one, the Supreme Court can review its own judgments. That's it. Now the Supreme Court had maybe passed a judgment few months back, and now it wants to review it, it wants to go through it again, it wants to see it again. So they can review it. Okay, people. Yes, everyone. Anybody, any doubts? Okay, no, so now, as I said, Supreme Court. Supreme Court is the apex court. It is the most important court. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types of jurisdiction. As per Article 131, original jurisdiction, for example, is between government versus one state, state versus state, government of India versus two or more states. Then we have the writ jurisdiction, Article number 232, in case of breach of fundamental rights. Only in one case you can directly go to the Supreme Court, that is breach of FR. Then you have the appellate jurisdiction. Appellate jurisdiction, Supreme Court. If you are not happy with the decision of High Court, please approach Supreme Court. Advisory jurisdiction, Supreme Court can give suggestions to the President whenever he wants, as and when he feels it's right. And last is review jurisdiction. Supreme Court can review its own judgment, it can review its own orders, and then take a decision accordingly. Yes, people. Yes, anybody, any doubts? All clear? Okay, moving on. Now we will be talking about High Court. Guys, High Court again, it's very much similar. High Court, original jurisdiction. If this matter is relating to union versus state legislatures, okay, like the High Court jurisdiction has been specified. Okay, so generally when there is government of India versus any state versus any other state, you go to the Supreme Court. But High Court can also decide matters. First of all, jurisdiction, we'll talk about it, but first we'll talk about original jurisdiction. High Court can also settle disputes regarding election to the union and state legislatures. Okay, so whatever the elections are going on, so let it be the union elections or let it be the state legislature, the High Court can interfere. The High Court has the rights of original jurisdiction. Now next, I'm not writing this entire thing again because it's just the same. Next is writ jurisdiction. Again, if I violate your fundamental right, everybody please listen. If I violate your fundamental right, if your fundamental right is violated, where can you go against me? Ma'am, we can sue you in Supreme Court. Absolutely correct. But can you guys sue me in High Court as well? Yes, absolutely. In Supreme Court, you were suing me under Article 32. The only difference is in High Court, you'll sue me under Article 226. So it's your choice entirely. It's your choice if you guys want to sue me in High Court. It's your choice if you guys want to sue me in Supreme Court. Completely up to you all. Yes? Now next is appellate jurisdiction. The way Supreme Court had its appeals against the High Court. The High Court has appeals against the district courts, the subordinate courts. Okay, power of superintendence, guys. All the High Courts, they have the power that they can have control over all the tribunals which are within their state, which are within their jurisdiction. Okay, now what is a tribunal? I will explain it to you as and when we go ahead in this chapter. Contempt of court, you all already know. Okay, now we will talk about lower or subordinate courts. Now first we were talking about the criminal court structure, okay, and then we'll talk about the civil court structure. Okay, so see, Supreme Court done, guys. High Court done. Supreme Court has the original jurisdiction, so does the High Court have. They both have writ jurisdiction, they both have appellate jurisdiction, they both have punishment for contempt. Okay, done. Now we will be talking about subordinate courts. Now, subordinate courts which are under the High Court. Subordinate courts are divided into two. The two ones are, so yes, subordinate courts. The first one is criminal court. The second one is civil. Okay, criminal as in we've done like criminal. There are criminal crimes that have happened like murder and kidnapping. So all these are the criminal offenses. Okay, and this is a civil court, like a breach of contract. So now subordinate courts, there are two types. One type that deals with civil, one type that deals with criminal. Now, so we are talking about the criminal one. So here the name is, guys, Court of Session. Now, what is a court of session? Remember, court of session strictly deals with what kind of cases? Criminal cases. So, every state, they have divided each state into various districts. They have divided it into various areas. So, every division is supposed to have a court of session. Now, who presides over the court of session? It is a sessions judge. Okay, it's simple, guys. Court of session deals with criminal cases. Sessions judge. Okay, now if I tell you it's just the same, like the courtroom and everything is just the same, the name of those courts are different. When you're dealing with criminal case, you are a court of session court and you are a sessions judge. When a person is dealing in civil cases, it's a civil court. It's a civil judge. Okay, so now here we are talking about a sessions judge. Now, who appoints this? High Court appoints this. Please remember, High Court appoints this session judge. Okay. They can pass a judgment on any criminal matter, guys, any criminal matter. Just that the death penalty, if they give a death penalty to someone, ma'am, can they give a death penalty? Of course, they can give a death penalty. They will just require approval of High Court. Clear, everyone? Clear, everyone? So look at this. Subordinate courts are divided into two. One is criminal, one is civil. Okay. So if we talk about criminal, court of session, the criminal court is called as the court of session. It's presided over by session judge who is appointed by the High Court, and they can deal with all sorts of criminal matters, and even they can give a death penalty. They'll just have to take approval from High Court because death penalty is something that should not be given easily, right? Now, court of session is done. So see, as you all can see here, we are talking about the lower or subordinate courts. As you all can see, court of session is done. Then we'll be talking about court of metropolitan magistrate. Now, what do you mean by a metropolitan magistrate? Metropolitan magistrate is a special court, guys. This is established by, please remember, it's established by the state government in consultation with High Court, and this is done in metropolitan areas. Metropolitan areas. Okay. Now, how much population? Now, what is a metropolitan area, guys? Population is more than million. What is 1 million? 10 lakh. Okay, so if your population is more than 10 lakhs, if your population is more than 1 million, your area is a metropolitan area. So in metropolitan areas, court is established by the by the state government and the High Court, and this court is known as metropolitan magistrate. Okay. Now again, these courts, they are subordinate to the court of session. Please remember, And who is the judge who sits over this or who declares the punishments? It's Chief Metropolitan Magistrate. He is the one who presides over this court. Okay, so he can give any penalty except death penalty. Penalty of life or imprisonment of more than 7 years. Other than these two, it can give any penalty. This is the Metropolitan Magistrate. So, no death or more than 7 years imprisonment penalty. They cannot give, okay? Other than this, they can give any sentence. They can declare any punishment to this particular person. But these two, they cannot give. What are the two people? Okay, now everybody, come on, focus. See, criminal court, okay. This structure we are studying about the subordinate. So now we are talking about the criminal courts. So criminal courts, it's also known as court of session, which is the highest in the subordinate. It's presided over by a sessions judge who is appointed by the High Court. It can also give a death penalty. The confirmation will have to be taken from the High Court. Done. Below this is the Metropolitan Magistrate. Is Metropolitan Magistrate present everywhere? No. It's present only in the metropolitan areas. What are metropolitan areas? Where population is more than 1 million. Who establishes this? The state government in consultation with the High Court, and is presided over by a Chief Metropolitan Magistrate. Can he give all punishments, ma'am, just like the Sessions Court? No, he cannot give a death penalty. Session Court could give everything. Death penalty had to be confirmed from High Court. But Metropolitan Magistrate junior hai. Okay, so it cannot give any death penalty, nor can it give any imprisonment which is more than 7 years. Up to 7 years imprisonment, ma'am, can Metropolitan Magistrate give? Absolutely. Up to 7 years imprisonment, Metropolitan Magistrate can do it. Okay. As I'm saying, guys, write it down. Whenever I am writing such things, please you all to write it down. Done. Now we will be talking about Chief Judicial Magistrate. Okay, let's go. We are doing criminal part. Okay, we are still on the criminal cases part. So court of session is done, Metropolitan Magistrate is done. Now we will be talking about Chief Judicial Magistrate. Now what is a Chief Judicial Magistrate? I'm going to try and write straight now. I write like this. You know, my students, there was this meme that one of my students had made on me and he posted it everywhere. That meme was, there was this person who was going like this, and then they were saying that they showed my screen. It goes like twisted, no? Like you guys must have noticed. I like write this like this. So they saw it, they bent, and that person is bending, and that person is seeing. And he's bending, and then he falls down. And side mein, it was my screen that in Kajal ma'am's lectures. This is how the students have to sit. So yeah, I'm going to try and writing straight now. Okay. Now we will be talking about Chief Judicial Magistrate. Again, who establishes this Chief Judicial Magistrate? State government, and it consults the High Court. Okay, state government, and it consults the High Court. And it's presided over by, please, I'm writing this with High Court established. 1 second, guys, just 1 second. My pencil is not working, just 1 second. Yes, so state government plus High Court establishes it. After that, there are two types, okay, judicial. Yes, there are two types. Number one is the Judicial Magistrate of First Class, JMFC. Please understand now what I'm writing. Judicial Magistrate of First Class and Judicial Magistrate of Second Class. Okay. Now, who presides over this? It's Chief Judicial Magistrate, CJM. This one. Chief Judicial Magistrate presides over them. They declare all sorts of penalties? Yes, except for death. Except for life imprisonment, they cannot declare life imprisonment. They cannot declare more than 7 years. Okay, everyone. Yes, people. So, this is what a Chief Judicial Magistrate is. Who establishes it? High Court along with state government. They are, of course, juniors, guys. As we are getting, the list is coming down, the authority, the jurisdiction is also getting lower. Okay. So, Metropolitan Magistrate was established by state government plus High Court. Is it everywhere? No, it's only in metropolitan areas. The population is more than 1 million. Chief Metropolitan Magistrate presides over this. No death, no 7 years, more than 7 years imprisonment. And now Chief Judicial Magistrate, same state government plus High Court forms this. There are two levels here, Judicial Magistrate of first class and second class. Then the Chief Judicial Magistrate presides over them. No death penalty, no life imprisonment, no more than 7 years punishment. They cannot give that. Yes, people, everybody getting it? Yes or no? Yes or no? And last is Executive Magistrate. Now, what do you mean by an executive magistrate? Everybody, focus. What do you mean by an executive magistrate? Executive magistrate is more like an admin. They are supposed to just maintain law and order. Okay, their responsibility is maintain law and order. They are appointed by the state government, and their main work is just to maintain law and order. And they are not like what do you call, they are not like here, they are not like judges, okay, like a judicial officer. No, they are just supposed to maintain law and order, and their work is more of admin work, the operations part, the management part, and not the judicial part. Getting the difference, guys? Operational part, not the judicial part. Clear, everyone? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Is it clear? Anybody, any doubts? Okay, so lower or subordinate courts is divided into two. Number one is criminal, number two is civil. Now we are going to be talking about civil, but first we spoke about the criminal court structure. So criminal court, we have the court of session, then we have metropolitan magistrate, then we have judicial magistrate, then we have the executive magistrates, correct? Now these are four. Now, yes, so see, it's simple. As we just spoke, criminal justice. So here, highest is Supreme Court, then next is High Court, then we have the Sessions Court, okay, then we in Sessions Court we have additional Sessions Judge, District Judge, okay, then Assistant Sessions Judge we have, who is below to them. Then we have the Chief Judicial Magistrate. Metropolitan will be there in metropolitan areas, and we'll have a Metropolitan Magistrate. On the same level is Chief Judicial Magistrate, okay. There are two again, Judicial Magistrate of first class, below that is Judicial Magistrate of second class, and below all of them is Executive Magistrate. Clear, everyone? Yes or no? Yes or no? The hierarchy given in the table is exactly what we've written in a chart form and in details, the important points. If you just see that before exam, you're good to go, good to go, good to go. You'll be able to answer the questions, even the tricky ones, trust me. Clear, everyone? Anybody, any doubts, guys? Anybody, any doubts? Please put all your doubts in the comment section. Peoples. Okay, I purposely said peoples, okay? I know we don't call it peoples, but just in a fun way, in a banter way, we say peoples. What's up, peoples? Okay, everyone. Now, as I said, see, you've studied SOGA and now you're doing sources of law. How easy is sources of law? How easy? It's complete theory, right? Imagine SOGA, there were so many case laws, remember? Passing of the property, the possession, this and that. Now here, it's just pure theory. Yes? Okay. Shall let's move on, everyone. So now we will be talking about the civil court structure. Okay, so criminal court is done, guys. Now is the civil court. So yes, criminal court done. Now let's talk about civil court. Now what does, everybody, what does civil court says? Now civil court says The district court here is the highest civil court. Okay, this is the subordinate courts that is going on. The topic we are doing is subordinate courts. So which is the highest one? It's a district court. Okay, and of course it has appellate and original jurisdiction because it's at the top. And the who is the one who presides this district court is a district judge, who is appointed by the governor in consultation with the High Court. Okay, everyone? Yes. So the first one, this is going to be very easy. It's the district court, the highest authority in a district. District court. Okay, so they have original jurisdiction as well as appellate jurisdiction. Remember the article number, guys. Always, always. Yes, so Article 223 says that there is a district judge. Please remember the article number. The district judge will preside over the district court. And who appoints the district judge, guys? Who appoints the district judge? The governor will appoint the district judge in consultation with the High Court. Okay, the governor will appoint a district judge in consultation with the High Court. Clear, everyone? Yes? Okay. Now, this is the highest body. Okay. After that, you have subordinate courts which are lower to them. So you have a subordinate judge of class 1. Then you have class 2. Okay, subordinate judge, sub-judge of class 2. Then you have small courts for metropolitans. Then you have municipal courts. Okay, so these are the class 3 ones. So this is how it goes down and down. So judiciary system, as we know, as we've spoken that, see, it's written here. They not only act as watchdog but also as guardian of the constitution. So they guard your constitution, guys. They are not only a watchdog but they guard your constitution. They make sure that whatever is happening is done as per your Indian constitution. Okay, everyone? Yes. So see, we have district court, then we have subordinate courts, okay, of class 1. Then we have, here you have sub-judges, okay. Then you have sub-court of class 2. And then you have municipals. They deal with small little cases. These are class 3. Okay? And who presides over them? Sub-judges. Got it, everyone? Got it, everyone? Anybody, any doubts? Okay? So this is how your civil case, network is there of the judiciary. This is how your criminal network is there of the judiciary. So if we talk about the criminal network, if the criminal network is in the criminal hierarchy, the criminal legal system, once again, in 1 minute, we'll revise it. There's a court of session. Below that is metropolitan magistrate. Then at the same level is chief judicial magistrate. Then you have below that is executive. If we talk about civil court, you have a district court presided by district judge, and then you have subordinate courts. That's it. Easy, easy, easy peasy. Okay, so yes, I hope, guys, nobody has any doubts. Yes, people, I hope nobody has any doubts. Okay, now let's move on. As I said, this session is going to be the last session of your sources of law. So even if it gets a little big, it's fine because it's a last session. Okay, everyone? Yes, people? Chalo, move on. Let's go. Now we will talk about tribunals. Now, what are tribunals, guys? Tribunals are quasi-judicial bodies. Quasi-judicial bodies, as in what happens is, see, tribunals. Should I make this a bit darker, the pen? They are quasi-judicial bodies. What are tribunals? They are quasi-judicial bodies. Now, what do you mean by quasi? Guys, quasi means as good as. Simple. It's not, they are not judicial bodies, but they are as good as judicial bodies. They are as good as the courts. They are not courts, but they are as good as the courts. Whatever they say, you have to listen, you have to comply by their decision. You have to listen to whatever their decree is, whatever their judgment is, whatever their decision is, because though they are not judges, they are not courts, they are as good as courts. Okay, so these are the tribunals. They are established for matters, judicial matters itself. Now what happens, you guys already know, you all have seen it in a number of movies also, that there are so many cases that have been pending in the courts, correct guys? So many of them. So you want to reduce the burden of these courts, the subordinate courts, the high court, the supreme courts. You want to reduce the burden of these courts. So now how do we do that? They have set up tribunals. Now see, these are certain examples of tribunals, okay? Industrial tribunals. So for example, if there is any, let's talk about income tax tribunal, the second one. So for example, if there is a dispute, okay, related to income tax, so instead of going to a court, just go to these tribunal, okay? These tribunals are amazing. Like personally, I have been to NCLT, that is the National Company Law Tribunal. See, it's here, National Company Law Tribunal, Companies Act. So I have been there, and when I entered NCLT, I had thought that I was wearing a blazer and things like that, and I had thought that okay, I'm gonna carry myself really well, and I'm gonna look this, and I'm gonna go in front of the judge. It was, the setup was just like that, okay? Like there are two people standing on opposite sides, and they're the lawyers. So I was the lawyer person, okay? I wasn't the lawyer, but then because I'm a CS, so I could represent my client there, okay? So CA, CS, CMAs, we all can represent our client there. We have to go to tribunals. Even you will have to sometime go to tribunal if there is an income tax issue, if there's a custom issue, if there is an administrative issue, okay, any kind of issue, you will have to approach a tribunal to represent your client. So I was representing my company, I was representing my client, and I'm standing there and I'm waiting there. And there was this another learned lawyer, like the opposite party lawyer was there, and the judge was sitting. So the moment judge came in, we all had to stand up, and it was like a table, like a huge table, like a very much similar to a court setup, okay? And the moment I entered, I thought I'm going to be like, outshine there, but no. Everybody, guys, I'm not lying, everybody had their blazers on, everybody is so professional, everybody's talking in English, everybody has their good document files updated, good personalities. So till the time we reach a level that we can go to a tribunal and represent a client, till that time I think we all develop in that way. That is the reason most of the people out there were like that, they were very much developed, okay? So yes, this is what a tribunal is. It's not a court, but is as good as a court, and you go here and you solve your matters. Now all the tribunals are divided as per their work. Like NCLT, the tribunal that I had gone, the companies act related issues, you go there. Then if there is any issue of SEBI, okay, so you go to SAT, that is Securities Appellate Tribunal, you go to them. Then if there is any income tax issue, you go to Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. Then there's National Green Tribunal. There is under TRI, if there is any telecom regulatory issues, you go to Telecom Dispute Settlement Tribunal, okay? Then there is DRTs, that is debt recoveries, etc., etc. Okay, so there are n number of tribunals. And now if you see the third row, so it's like appellate court. So for example, if you're not happy with the decision of income tax tribunal, whom do you appeal to? High court. So can we say this tribunal is at the level of a subordinate court? Correct. And now you'll also see that some tribunals are at the level of high court. Okay, how, ma'am? See the NCLT one, the one I was sure about, National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. Okay, NCLAT. So from NCLAT, this is a tribunal. Where do you approach if you're not happy with NCLAT's decision? See, Supreme Court. Got it? So NCLAT is at the level of High Court, because from High Court, if you're not okay with the decision of High Court, you appeal to Supreme Court. Even NCLAT, if you're not okay with this decision, you appeal to Supreme Court. So it's more than a subordinate court. It's at the level of a High Court. Okay, so now there are certain tribunals. So now you'll understand this. There are certain tribunals which are at the level of High Court, that if you're not okay with it, you directly approach the Supreme Court. And there are certain tribunals that are at the level of subordinate courts, that if you're not okay with their decisions, you approach the High Court. Clear, everyone? Yes, guys? Understood the tribunal system? Okay. Supreme Court, of course, is the apex. There's nobody above Supreme Court. Okay. And tribunals are not, they're independent from executive. Now, what do you mean by that? There is no interference in tribunals. They themselves decide. They have professionals. They have experts of judicial as well as technical matters, and they themselves decide of how to go ahead with this entire case. Okay, so there is no interference of government or any ministry. We avoid that. The Supreme Courts make sure. And the main reason, guys, for establishment of tribunal is simple. Yeah, one case will take so long. Like, for example, in previous days, if two companies had to merge, A and B, if they had to merge, this one merger used to go on for like 10 years, 12 years, till the time we get approval from the High Court. And the people who were talking about the merger, the MD, CEO, they are dead by then. So who will carry on the actual official merger? Okay, so there were n number of cases that were pending in the court even today. So just to avoid this, we have set up these kind of tribunals. Okay, so now there are certain tribunals which are at a level of subordinate courts, that if you're not okay with the decision, go to High Court. For example, income tax. Okay, there are certain tribunals which are at the level of High Court, that if you're not happy with it, go to Supreme Court. So they are obviously above subordinate courts. Example, NCLAT. Clear, everyone? Anybody, any doubts? Yes or no, guys? Okay, please in the comment section do let me know if you all have any sorts of doubt, people. Yes. Now, what is composition of the tribunals, guys? So Supreme Court selects these people. Now they will talk about technical members. So if it's an NCLAT, National Company Law Tribunal, they will select people who are experts with company matters. The example, company secretaries. If it's an income tax matter, they will select people who are expert with income tax. Example, chartered accountants. Okay. If it's a costing matter, they will select people who are experts with cost management, that is CMAs. Okay, so it depends upon the technical qualifications and the expertise, and the judicial members, of course, they have a judicial background. They have to be lawyers, or maybe they are the past judges of the High Court. Okay, so the judicial members. So see, a tribunal comprises of judicial plus technical members. Technical members because they need to understand the technicalities of the case. Judicial members because they need to understand the process of judiciary, the courts. So these two are combined. So judicial members will have a judiciary background. Technical members will have a technical background. Clear? Yes, yes. Okay. Now we will be talking about ADRs. Now what is ADR? Alternative Dispute Resolution. What is ADR, people? Everyone, what is ADR? Alternative Dispute Resolution. Alternative Dispute Resolution means what I was talking about. This is like the courts have been overwhelmed with work. So now, for example, you and your friend, if two of y'all have an argument, okay, and y'all are so confused as to who's right, who's wrong, and then y'all decide to take each other to the court. So you say that, you know what, instead of taking each other to the court, let's go to Kajal ma'am. Let's present this case in front of Kajal ma'am, and let ma'am decide who is at fault, because ma'am is neutral. Ma'am is not biased towards you nor towards me. She is neutral. So let ma'am decide, let ma'am intervene, and let ma'am decide who is right, who is wrong. So you and your friend, you do a contract, arbitration contract. This word is known as arbitration, okay, the one that I'm explaining. So you guys do an arbitration contract that let ma'am decide who is at fault, because ma'am is not partial, ma'am is not biased. She will listen to your side, she will listen to my side, and then she will come to a common decision. And then we are supposed to listen to that decision. Okay, so this is one of the ADRs. ADRs mean alternative dispute resolution. Here both the parties mutually, they decide that, you know what, let's not get the court in the middle and let's do things on our own. Okay, like for example, we will solve our issues on our own, because if we go to the court, we are going to land up spending a lot of money. Number one, we are going to land up spending a lot of time. Number two, okay, so it's going to be spending of time, money, energy a lot. Instead, without court interference, let's just try getting justice to you and to me. So we have the ways of arbitration, mediation, and conciliation. These are parts of ADR. Understood, everybody? Everybody. Alternative dispute resolution. Did you all understand? Here, the parties are settling an issue with or without interference of the court. Without interference of the court. Okay. Now, first we will talk about arbitration. So, if we take the example of arbitration, as I said, it goes to an arbitral tribunal. Okay, arbitration. Arbitral tribunal, the decision that he gives is called as award. How we call judgment? When the court gives a decision, we call it a judgment. So here we call it an award, and of course it is binding on both the parties, that both the parties have to listen. Okay, then next is conciliation. Now first let me just write, it's binding. Now next is conciliation. Now guys, if we talk about conciliation, conciliation is not binding. Again, here a third party who's impartial, a conciliator, he decides, he assists both the parties, that, you know, like you're going to a friend, you go to a friend and you say that this is the matter that happened, now we don't know what to do. So he'll just try listening to party A, he'll try listening to party B, and he will try getting both of you all on common grounds. He'll try settling your disputes. Now he will also give a solution to this. Now it is up to the parties if you want to reject the solution or if you want to accept the solution. If both the parties accept it, so conciliator will make a document here. Okay, and then he will make an official document on which both the parties have to sign it. Simple. Okay, so the way arbitration, how it's very strict, conciliation is not that strict. Initially, it's not binding. Okay, it's conciliator, the one who decides things, it's conciliator. And it's up to the parties to accept or reject decision of conciliation. Conciliation. But once it is accepted, it will be drawn on a document, and then both the parties have to sign it once it's accepted. And last but not the least is, guys, mediation. Mediation, there's a person called mediator. So see guys, in arbitration, I'm not writing this now, it's very easy. In arbitration, it's an arbitrator. In mediation, it's a mediator. In conciliation, it's a conciliator. Okay, arbitration, mediation, conciliator, always there is an impartial person. In all three cases, they are trying to reach on a mutual acceptable resolution. Okay, now if we talk about arbitration, whatever decision he gives is binding, the award. Then if we talk about conciliator, it's not binding initially. He'll just try giving a solution. If the parties accept it, okay. If the parties do not accept it, they'll be like, conciliator, go to hell, we'll see what to do. Okay, but if the parties accept it, he will draw a document on which both of them have to sign. Once the sign is done, it becomes binding. And last is mediation. Mediation, here he does not solve the disputes. Again, it's more like a friend. He does not solve your disputes. He at least tries that, please come and talk to each other. You guys decide what you want. We generally do this in a friend circle, correct? We do this in our friends group. Like there are two people, we say that, you know, you two, you'll come and talk to each other at least. we are not going to find any solution. You both only have to find the solution, but at least come and talk to each other. Okay, so you sometimes when the parties have had a fight, sometimes when two of our friends they fought with each other, they don't even talk to each other. Correct? They don't even keep that space in the middle to talk to each other. So in such a situation, here we are trying to solve their issue. That we are getting them to talk to each other. Got it, everyone? So it's very informal. Mediation is very informal. Next, we will be talking about Lok Adalat. Now, what is Lok Adalat, guys? Lok Adalat is people's court. There were n number of protests, there were n number of people who went on hunger strikes, and then something like Lok Adalat was established. So, this act was passed back very before, but Lok Adalat got the real powers after n number of hunger strikes was done. Now, Lok Adalat, the name itself suggests, Lok is people, Adalat is court, okay? So, people's court. So, here again it's out of court settlement. There is a judicial officer. Negotiations are done on his behalf. Whatever the Lok Adalat gives a decision, it's final. It's not a court, it's like a court, it's a quasi judicial. Okay, I told you what a quasi judicial is. So here the people, the Lok Adalat, whatever the decision he gives, it's final, it's binding on them, and the people go to the Lok Adalat in front of the judicial officers. They tell them ki what happened. They call the other party that it's because of them that this happened. So instead of going to the court, go to Lok Adalat, because our time will be saved, our money will be saved. Okay. And can you appeal against the order of Lok Adalat? Very important from MCQ point of view, people. Very important from MCQ point of view, people. Very important from MCQ point of view, guys. What is important from MCQ point of view? Can you make an appeal against the order of Lok Adalat? No. Then everybody will keep doing that. No, then what's the point of Lok Adalat? Correct. If the decision is passed against us, we will directly give an appeal to the court. So what's the point of Lok Adalat? So whatever the Lok Adalat says, we have to listen. We cannot appeal to the court. Clear, everyone? Yes. Now ADRs. Now the statutes that we spoke about here, okay, it's just the same that have been given here. Now, guys, tell me, it's obvious. What are the advantages of ADR? Advantages of ADR, it is less time consuming. You're not going to take years and years. Also, it's not that expensive the way court system is. It's very less expensive comparatively. Okay? It's raining heavily here, guys. Heavily. I don't know if it's raining in your area or no, but here it's raining crazy. Okay. Yes, so now ADR is generally less expensive. Now there are regulatory bodies in India which we need to know. We don't need to know all of them, but we need to know very few of them which are important. So the first one that we'll be talking about is SEBI. Okay. The first one is SEBI. Next, we'll be talking about RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Okay, SEBI, RBI. Then we'll be talking about Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority, IRDAI. IRDAI. We're going to finish this in 10 minutes. Okay. And last, we'll be talking about. Okay, yes, sorry. Next we will be talking about Pension Funds Regulatory and Development Authority, PFRDA, PFRDA. Then next we will be talking about Mutual Funds Association of India, okay, so AMFI. And last we'll be talking about MCA and NHB, National Housing Bank. We'll be talking about MCA and NHB. So don't worry, guys. As I said, we are going to finish this in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. Yes, people. As I said, this is the last session of sources of law. Okay. So 3 sessions and you secure 10 marks. 3 also not. If you've seen the previous session, it's just half a session, you can say. So you must have noticed that it's like 2.5 sessions and you're securing 10 marks. So please do this smart work, guys. See it again and again so that 10 marks are just yours. 2.5 sessions, 2.5 hours is nothing just to secure 10 marks, right? Okay, so now let's start, people. Let's resume. So first we'll be talking about SEBI. Okay, now SEBI, I'm sure you guys have heard what SEBI is. So SEBI is considered, guys, as the police officer of SEBI is considered as the police officer of stock market, securities market. So if you guys have seen the movie Bazaar, you all will notice that in Bazaar, SEBI like there is a lot of role of SEBI that is shown. A Bazaar movie, it's Saif Ali Khan's movie. Okay, so yes, SEBI, it's a body that was established in 1992. There were n number of malpractices that were happening in your capital markets, the securities markets, the capital markets, you know, the stock market that we talk about where share trading is done. So people were doing frauds. The investors who had put their money in, they were losing all the money because they were not being protected. Malpractices were done. So if you guys have seen the scam, Harshad Mehta scam of 1992, SEBI came into picture mainly after that, after the scam took place, because as per the scam, SEBI realized that the investors are being taken advantage of and people are earning crores and crores of rupees by doing fraud. That's why SEBI came into the picture after this Harshad Mehta scam. Okay. So what are the main functions, guys? The main functions are we need to protect the investors, we need to spread awareness among the investors. Then we need to protect the price on the share market. The price shouldn't go extreme ups or extreme down so that people don't lose their money. Okay, everybody is functioning properly. All the participants, whoever are in the market, they are functioning properly. The stock exchanges are doing okay. The brokers are not doing any fraud. Okay, the investment bankers are not misconducting, and if anybody misconducts, they will impose a fine on them. Okay, and then SEBI also has development functions, like it gives training, it gives education, it talks about new innovation programs in stock market. It conducts research in a way where it can improve its service system, it can improve its protection. Okay, yes. So SEBI, it can change laws relating to stock exchange. Then it also, whoever are participating in the market, okay, so SEBI makes sure, let it be the stock. We have two main recognized stock exchanges, BSE and NSE. So let it be the stock exchange or let it be any participant of that market. SEBI can inspect the records, its financial statements. If any frauds happen, SEBI is the one who gives judgments. Delisting of a company. Then if anybody is doing fraud, SEBI will impose fines on that. The brokers, SEBI will make sure the brokers and everybody else is doing their work properly. Okay, yes. So this is what SEBI does. Clear, everyone? Next is, guys, RBI. RBI, as the name suggests, Reserve Bank of India. There's only one in India because it's a central bank, it's the main bank, okay? Or the entire banking system, all the banks in your country, guys, all the banks in our country, they work under RBI. RBI is the main head, RBI is the main boss. The way SEBI was the main boss of stock market, RBI is the main boss of money. Money. Okay, so it regulates the financial sector, it bosses over other banks. Okay, now what are the main functions, guys? If the banks wants to open a new branch and if any person wants to open a new bank, so this RBI will give them a license. They'll make sure that all the ratios, the reserve requirements are maintained by other bank. They will keep checking the banking accounts of various banks time to time. Then if anybody is going into losses, they'll maybe put up their merger. They'll try reconstructing them. They'll put somebody else on their board so that that bank doesn't go in loss. Okay, and it makes sure that money is circulated throughout the country because RBI prints money, no? You all know, no? Who prints money, guys? RBI. RBI is the one who prints money. Print. Yes, people say also, this is like a way of saying. Sometimes we say that let's go and let's notify RBI, because RBI is like they are they are printing money, they are minting money. So yeah, of course, everybody says that in fun. If you guys have seen Money Heist, in Money Heist also see they are minting money. Okay. Yes, next we will be talking about is IRDAI. IRDAI, the name itself suggests it's the Insurance Regulatory Development Authority. So here it protects all the insurance policy holders. They want to develop the insurance industries, promote the insurance companies. So they make sure that all the policy holders, their interests are secured. The insurance companies are financially sound. They are not doing anything fraud. There is no confusion. The standards of insurance companies are set. Okay. And if the insurance company wants to get registered, they have to come to IRDA. So IRDA will levy fees, charges. They can suddenly conduct inspection of any insurance company, surprise inspections. If there are any insurance agents or any other training intermediaries, IRDA makes sure that are they qualified. If they are not, they will give them proper training. IRDA makes sure that they are controlling the premium. If we want to buy an insurance, we have to give a premium. Okay, so they will make sure that the premium rates, the insurance amounts, the terms, conditions are normal. They are as per standards, and these are going to benefit the policy holders as well. Okay. And if there is a conflict, if there is a fight between an insurance company and a policy holder, IRDA does come into the picture. IRDA does try solving it. Then next is Pension Funds Regulatory Development Authority. Here the pension industry, when people get pension, okay, so it's not only for the government employees. Initially only the government employees was covered under here because they get pension, but here it's for all citizens. So here our main thing is that people, when they get old, they are not able to work, so there should be a certain income, so that income is secured to them. Okay, so NPS, that is a national pension system. This is responsible. Now what do? They conduct inquiries, investigation, that all these bodies who are keeping money with them and providing pension to the citizens, are they is public aware about them? That we have such bodies where you can invest money, and then after a certain period of time they will give that money to you on a monthly basis as pension. So you need to make public aware of this. You need to make sure these institutions are working well, they are registered, and the people who are the pension fund holders, they are being protected. Their money is not being misused, or there is no malpractices. Okay, so in this entire pension industry, let it be government or let it be non-government, this institution protects it. The next is, guys, Association of Mutual Funds. Here again it's an NPO, not for profit. So here their aim is not to earn profit, but their aim is to protect the mutual fund holders. Their aim is to promote a professional environment for mutual funds, so that public, because public is not very much aware. We still, there are so many, guys, you won't believe it, 70-75% people even today don't know what mutual funds are. Okay, so we need to make it more accessible to them. We need to tell them about mutual funds. In this entire mutual fund industry, even the mutual fund houses and even the investors both need to be protected. Their interests, the standards should be maintained. So this AMFI looks into both the mutual fund holders as well as these investors and the mutual fund houses. Okay, they are supposed to follow certain professional standards, certain ethics. Then they're supposed to be financially sound. They should have some minimum asset value. So AMFI will look into all of that. And last is, guys, MCA. Okay, so as CMAs, you can work in any of the options that we spoke about. Like you can work in SEBI, you can work at RBI, you can work at IRDA, you can work at this Pension Fund Regulatory Authority, you can work at AMFI, you can work in MCA. You can earn a lot if you get a job in MCA, guys. A lot. Okay, MCA pays a lot to professionals. So as a CACS, CMA, all three of us have opportunities in these 7 industries or these 7 authorities. It's a great job. It's a very authoritative job. You get to learn a lot. And at the same time, not just you'll get to learn, but there are n number of things like great salaries, great incentives, exposure, contacts. Okay, so definitely do try if that particular, if a job for our particular field comes up here, keep having an eye on it. So MCA, guys, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Here, if you want to register any company, or there are n number of things, you register any company, register any director, you want to know anything about any company, you just go to MCA, you'll get to know everything about a company, the balance sheet, P&Ls, the directors, if the directors have been to jail, their criminal records, everything. So MCA is like, it protects the interest of all the people. Like even the banks can go on MCA and find out about a company. Even we as an investor can go on MCA and find out about a company. So it protects interests of everyone. Every single thing of a company is registered with MCA. Every smallest to biggest thing. Right from his memorandum of association to his winding up certificate, to who are the directors, to which group companies are they associated, to which crimes have been done, to which court cases are pending on this particular company, to what are its balance sheet, what is its cash flow, what is its PNL, etc., etc. We get to know everything just by going on this one website. Yes, and last is, guys, National Housing Bank. National Housing Bank, here, there are certain housing finance companies that if you want to buy a house, you can approach these housing finance companies. Okay, so NHB will boss over such companies. It's of course Ministry of Finance. So here it is the main agency. It looks over all such housing finance institutions at regional levels, at state levels, and also it provides support to these institutions so that they can help the consumers indirectly. Okay, and that's it, everybody. That's it, guys. That's it. So we are done with sources of law. As I said, it might just be a little longer. So it was just like a 10-12 minute longer session. That's it. Like more than our regular 1 hour sessions. Okay. But we are done with sources of law. Yes, guys. So anybody, any doubts? Please, if there are any doubts, please do let me know in the comment section. The legal system that we did today. So the initial part was important. The second half is not that important. The first half that we did is very important. The legal system. Okay, people. Yes, people. Okay, so that's it, guys. 2.5 sessions, and then you're going to secure 10 marks. So please watch this sources of law at least twice or thrice so that your 10 marks will be secured without much of self-study. Yes, people. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's all for the day. We will stop here, and I, CS Kajalande, am signing off for this particular section. I will see you guys for business communication next, and then we'll secure 20 marks there. Okay, everybody. So yes, take care of yourself, guys. Stay safe. Study well. If any doubts, please do let me know in the comment section. Okay, till then, take care, everyone. Stay safe. Signing off. Kajalande. Bye, guys.